Welcome to today's deep news analysis. If you want real, honest updates on Nigeria, Africa, and the politics shaping our future, you are in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update, because what we're talking about today is huge, and it affects every Nigerian directly. On November 20th, Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of IPOB, was sentenced to life imprisonment and moved to Sokoto prison. This has caused shockwaves not just in Nigeria, but across Africa. And now, things are taking an unexpected turn. Ghana's President John Mahama has met with Burkina Faso's leader Ibrahim Traoré. They discussed Kanu's life sentence and how Nigeria should respond, whether politically or legally. Stay with me, because this is not just news. This is about power, decisions, and what could happen next in Nigeria's political landscape. Let's start with the meeting itself. John Mahama of Ghana and Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso met behind closed doors recently. Their conversation? It focused on Nnamdi Kanu's life sentence and Nigeria's next steps. Why is this so important? Because both Mahama and Traoré are influential figures in African politics. Their voices matter, and their opinions can influence international reactions. Mahama reportedly told Traoré that political solutions must be considered first. He emphasized that the Nigerian government, led by President Bola Tinubu, needs to carefully balance justice with diplomacy. In other words, he warned that rushing into actions that could escalate tensions or deepen divisions within Nigeria would be dangerous. Political solutions are not just about avoiding conflict, they are about finding a way for all parties to feel heard while maintaining peace. Mahama's point is clear: Nigeria cannot ignore the political dimension of this crisis. Traoré, on his side, reportedly supported the idea of closely observing the legal investigation surrounding the Omotosho judgment. This judgment laid the foundation for Nnamdi Kanu's life sentence. By stressing the importance of the legal investigation, Traoré is signaling that the rule of law must be respected. He appears to believe that understanding the legal process in detail is just as important as considering political solutions. This is a subtle but powerful message. African leaders are paying attention, and they expect Nigeria to follow proper legal procedures without compromising justice. This meeting is a reminder that Nnamdi Kanu's case is not just a domestic issue. It has regional and even continental significance. The decisions Nigeria makes will not only affect internal stability but also shape how neighboring countries respond to similar situations in their own nations. When leaders like Mahama and Traoré get involved, even indirectly, it shows that the consequences of Kanu's sentencing reach far beyond Nigeria's borders. Now, let's be honest. Nnamdi Kanu's life sentence is more than a court matter. It is deeply political. His supporters see him as a symbol of their struggle. His sentencing has sparked discussions, debates, and even protests across Nigeria. At the same time, government officials view the sentence as a legal victory and a demonstration that the law is being enforced. This clash of perspectives is exactly what makes Mahama and Traoré's involvement so significant. They are effectively telling Nigeria, be careful. Balance is required. Decisions made here have wider consequences. Here's why this matters for ordinary Nigerians. Political stability in the country affects everyone. It affects the economy, it affects security, and it affects daily life. If tensions rise, the effects are felt in markets, schools, workplaces, and homes. Every decision made by the government regarding Kanu's case matters to ordinary citizens, not just politicians. That is why the advice of leaders like Mahama and Traoré carries weight. They are reminding Nigeria's leaders that the stakes are high and that every action should be measured carefully. The central question from this meeting is simple but critical. Will President Tinubu follow a political approach that promotes peace and dialogue? Or will he pursue the legal investigation and enforcement of the Omotosho judgment fully, potentially inflaming tensions and drawing criticism? Both paths carry risks. Political solutions might calm the situation temporarily but could be seen as compromising justice. Strict legal enforcement may uphold the law but risks provoking unrest or international criticism. This is a difficult balance, and African leaders are watching closely to see which path Nigeria will take. This is why the meeting is so significant. Mahama and Traoré are sending a strong message without publicly interfering. They are signaling that Africa is watching Nigeria, and the world is paying attention. The implication is clear. Nigeria cannot act in isolation. Every step must be carefully considered. Diplomacy and law must go hand in hand. The country's next moves will set an example, not just for Nigeria, but for the region. In short, this meeting is a wake-up call. It reminds Nigerian leaders that their decisions carry weight far beyond their immediate environment. Nnamdi Kanu's case is not just about one man, one group, or one government. It is about how Nigeria handles complex political and legal challenges in a way that maintains peace, respects the law, and satisfies the expectations of the African community. This meeting between Mahama and Traore is the first clear signal that Nigeria's approach will be judged, both internally and externally, for years to come. Now, let's talk about Nnamdi Kanu's sentence and the impact it is already having across Nigeria and West Africa. On November 20th, Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of IPOB, was sentenced to life imprisonment by a Nigerian court and subsequently moved to Sokoto prison. This is a major legal and political development that has attracted attention not just locally, but internationally. The sentence has reignited discussions on national security, political dissent, and the rule of law in Nigeria. The court's decision to sentence Kanu to life imprisonment followed a long and closely watched legal process. Kanu was convicted on charges related to terrorism and unlawful activities, according to the court. His sentencing reflects the judiciary's firm stance on handling cases that have the potential to threaten national stability. However, the ruling has also sparked debates across different segments of Nigerian society. While some view it as a necessary enforcement of the law, others see it as politically motivated and potentially divisive. Following the sentence, Kanu was moved to Sokoto prison, which has raised additional concerns. Questions about his safety, health, and the adequacy of prison conditions have been raised by civil rights groups and political analysts. These concerns are being closely monitored, as any reports of mistreatment could escalate tensions and draw further national and international attention. Human rights organizations, both inside and outside Nigeria, are calling for transparency in how Kanu is treated, emphasizing that even those convicted of crimes have legal rights that must be respected. The reaction to Kanu's sentence has been widespread. IPOB supporters have expressed disappointment and anger, emphasizing that Kanu is a symbol for their political and social struggle. Some activists have argued that the sentence could deepen divisions and unrest in certain regions of Nigeria. At the same time, government officials and many legal experts have defended the ruling as a clear demonstration that no one is above the law, regardless of their political influence or public support. This tension between law enforcement and public perception is creating a challenging environment for political leaders. International attention is also growing. African leaders, including Ghana's John Mahama and Burkina Faso's Ibrahim Traoré, have already discussed the implications of Kanu's sentence and the political steps Nigeria should take next. Their involvement, while indirect, signals that regional stability is a priority. West African countries are closely observing Nigeria's handling of both the legal and political consequences of the sentence. The discussions among these leaders indicate that how Nigeria responds could affect its diplomatic relations and influence future regional policy on political dissent and human rights. From a political perspective, the sentencing of Kanu presents significant challenges for President Bola Tinubu's administration. Nigeria is at a delicate stage politically, and every move regarding this case is being scrutinized. Tinubu must balance the enforcement of the law with measures that prevent further unrest. Analysts are warning that a purely legal approach may satisfy judicial expectations but could inflame political tensions, whereas a political or diplomatic approach could calm unrest but may be criticized as weakening the rule of law. This balancing act is critical for Nigeria's stability and reputation. The economic implications cannot be ignored either. Political tensions in Nigeria often affect trade, investment, and the business environment. Businesses watch the stability of the country closely, and ongoing unrest or uncertainty can disrupt markets, investor confidence, and day-to-day economic activities. Citizens, too, feel the effects in their daily lives, from disruptions in local markets to concerns about security in their communities. How the government manages this case could therefore have direct consequences for ordinary Nigerians. It is also important to note the role of the judiciary. The Omotosho judgment, which formed the legal basis for Kanu's sentence, has now become a central reference point for analysts, politicians, and civil society. Observing the legal process, including appeals or reviews, is critical to ensure transparency and public trust. The government's ability to manage both legal enforcement and public communication will define the next phase of this issue. In conclusion, Nnamdi Kanu's life sentence is not just a legal matter, it is a significant political and social event. Its impact is being felt across Nigeria and West Africa, influencing discussions about justice, governance, and regional stability. President Tinubu and his administration are under pressure to manage the situation carefully, balancing law enforcement with political diplomacy. How this unfolds will have implications for Nigeria's political climate, regional relations, and the daily lives of its citizens. The country is at a crossroads, and all eyes are on the next steps. Finally, let's look at what all of this means for Nigeria and Africa. The sentencing of Nnamdi Kanu has put Nigeria under a regional spotlight. Leaders like John Mahama and Ibrahim Traoré are already discussing the implications of the case, signaling that African nations are paying close attention. This is a reminder that Nigeria does not operate in isolation. Its decisions have consequences beyond its borders, affecting diplomatic relations, regional stability, and Africa's perception of Nigeria's leadership and legal system. For President Bola Tinubu, the challenge is enormous. The administration must navigate a situation that is both politically sensitive and legally complex. Every action, every statement, and every decision will be analyzed by citizens, political groups, regional leaders, and international observers. It is crucial for the government to maintain a balance between enforcing the law and preventing unnecessary tension or unrest. From a domestic perspective, the government must also consider public perception. Nigerians are closely following this case, and emotions run high. The handling of Kanu's imprisonment, the transparency of legal procedures, and communication from government authorities will influence public trust. If the public feels that justice is being fairly applied while political tensions are managed responsibly, it could strengthen confidence in governance. If not, it may deepen divisions and create challenges for national unity. The regional impact cannot be ignored. West African leaders have made it clear that stability in Nigeria affects the entire region. Any signs of unrest or political mismanagement could influence neighboring countries, potentially setting precedents for handling political dissent and legal disputes. The discussions between Mahama and Traoré show that Africa expects Nigeria to combine political wisdom with legal compliance, and that missteps will not go unnoticed. Economically, the situation has implications as well. Political stability is a key factor for investment, trade, and overall economic growth. Investors, both local and international, watch Nigeria's political climate closely. A perceived failure to handle the Kanu case responsibly could affect investor confidence, business activity, and even everyday commerce. Citizens could feel these effects in rising prices, business disruptions, and reduced opportunities if instability grows. Legally, the Omotosho judgment and the subsequent life sentence of Kanu are now central points of reference. Transparency, adherence to due process, and fair treatment in prison are all under scrutiny. The government must ensure that legal procedures are followed strictly, while also making sure the public understands the steps being taken. Clear communication will be key to maintaining confidence and preventing misinformation from spreading. In conclusion, this is a pivotal moment for Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu's sentencing is more than a court decision. It is a test of leadership, governance, and the country's ability to manage high-stakes political and legal challenges. President Tinubu's choices in the coming weeks and months will shape Nigeria's political climate, its relationship with neighbors, and the trust citizens place in the government. African leaders are watching. Citizens are watching. The world is watching. The question now is, will Nigeria handle this situation with balance, law, and diplomacy, or will missteps lead to unrest and criticism? This is a story that will continue to unfold, and its outcome will affect every Nigerian and the region as a whole. If you found this video informative, make sure to hit the like button, share with friends, and subscribe for more reliable news analysis. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates, because this story is far from over, and every development matters. Comment below with your thoughts. What do you think Nigeria should do next? Your opinion is important, and this conversation needs to happen. The sentencing of Nnamdi Kanu to life imprisonment marks a critical moment in Nigeria's legal and political history. This case has highlighted the delicate balance between enforcing the rule of law and managing political stability. The involvement of regional leaders such as John Mahama and Ibrahim Traoré underscores the significance of Nigeria's decisions, as the country's actions have implications beyond its borders. How the government navigates the political and legal dimensions of this situation will influence both domestic confidence in governance and Nigeria's standing in West Africa. The Omotosho judgment, which formed the basis of Kanu's life sentence, remains central to understanding the legal process. Transparency, adherence to due process, and careful management of public perception are critical to maintaining trust in the judiciary and the government. At the same time, political considerations cannot be ignored. Nigeria must carefully weigh the potential consequences of unrest, regional criticism, and the broader impact on national unity. Economically, the outcome of this case has potential implications for investment, stability, and business confidence. Ultimately, Kanu's sentence is more than a legal matter. It is a test of governance, law enforcement, and political judgment. The coming weeks will be decisive, shaping Nigeria's political landscape, regional relations, and the broader perception of justice and leadership in the country.